Hope you all had a great Monday. Before we get into anything, of course, as always, let's go ahead and get into our disclaimer here. This video and training is solely for educational purposes only and is not the opinion of Trading Options Network. It is solely my personal opinion, so do with the information whatever you want to do with it, but take responsibility. That being said, also be sure to like, follow, or subscribe at your favorite social media platform to stay up to date with Trading Options Network. That being said, compared to yesterday, we are painting a different picture. It's not all red. There is a lot that is still green, but it's definitely more 50-50. Yesterday, we were primarily green almost everywhere. Today, we are, like I said, it's about 50-50 from just looking at it. Maybe slightly even more red than green, but for the most part, it's right down the middle. I see a few on here that I want to talk about. Comcast. I don't think Comcast had their earnings, but maybe they did. Let's just go ahead and take a look. Let's go with that. Get that day chart up. Oh, they did have their earnings. Okay, so obviously earnings is bringing Comcast down. Is it? Yeah, I think no. Shoot, what is the company? Give me 1 second here. I'll pull it back up. There was a couple other companies. It was DHR, the Danaher Corporation, I guess. They went pretty green today. As you can see, they're up almost 7%. They were actually up, I think, a little over 8% at one point. The other one, Coke, they were up as well, but it looks like they're coming right back down, so they're just not really moving that much. So kind of in regards to the little bit of earnings that we're having today, it's kind of a mixed bag. But again, we're really getting into the fun ones after the market closes today. I'm talking about Tesla and Google, of course. I'm curious and excited to see what happens there. Am I going to be getting any type of position in either one of those? Not even in the slightest. Let's go ahead and I'm just going to show you something really quick. This is another reason why I do not trade earnings. We just go ahead and pull up Tesla here. Look at these asinine premiums right now. I mean, we're talking about technically it's out of the money with 3 days till expiration, and the premium for this 250 call is over $11. That is insane. I mean, do I think Tesla's going to move more than, $11, which in this case would be just over 4%? Yeah, I do. I absolutely do. But I'm not willing to gamble that much. Now, gosh, I was even looking just for fun to see what a 275 strike would be, and even the 275s were insane. Look at this. 275 is I'm sorry. I was looking at the 270, 250s. The 275s right now are trading at $3.50 plus. That is insane. I mean, we're talking about something that's 10% out of the money, 3 days till expiration, and it's over $3. You know what that tells me, though, too? That tells me that there is a lot of volume. Look at this volume. That is ridiculous. The 270 strike, 15,000 calls. Open interest is 20,000. That's ridiculous. I mean, that is an insane amount of calls that have been placed today. 15,000. This is a little bit more understandable. I mean, will I spend $1,000? No, but the 255s, you're only talking about 2% out of the money. So I think you have a heck of a lot better chance of being profitable here than being way down here. What? Gosh, 20,000. 20,000 at the 300s. You're giving away your money at that point, in my opinion. I don't think this stock is going to go up 20%. I just don't. Maybe it will, but if you want to give away, apparently 20,426 people today want to give away their money. It's insane. But nonetheless, let's get back over to the heat map. I can't even, oh my gosh, that's just insane. And people wonder why they don't do well in the market. Not sure what this is. NXP Semiconductors down pretty big. Unfortunately, the semiconductor sector here or industry is not doing too well. And I was really, I was very reluctant. It's like, man, do I close this position or not? And so far, my answer is no. But I'll show you why here in a second. Because I really, it's a tough call. It is a tough call right now. If it were to go down any more, then I probably would. But if we go ahead and look at NVIDIA, which is the second largest company, or the second largest holding, I should say, of that ETF, it's not doing bad. It's flat on the day. Okay? Broadcom. They're up almost 2%. This is the number one holding in that ETF. And they're up 2% today almost. Okay? AMD, my guess is they're back down, but they were green for a little while. Nope, they're still slightly green. So the top 3 holdings of this ETF are flat or green. That's the top 3. And if we were to go into it a little bit more, I can't remember if it shows it on here. I don't think it does, honestly. Oh, yes, it does right here. So you got Broadcom, NVIDIA, AMD. Applied Materials. Okay, so the fourth one, once we get down here, they're a little bit more red. Okay, which I'm not surprised. We're seeing a lot of red. Obviously, the ETF itself is pretty red today, down over 1%. But again, those top 3, being that they are flat or green, really wants to make me hold this just a little bit longer just to see if those top 3 can pull up the rest of the sector. Now, again, if it starts falling apart and the rest of the sector starts pulling down those top 3, then obviously we're going to get out of it. But, we still have, how many days till expiration here? 24 days till expiration. We don't need to go up a absolute ton to get back into the money. Okay. We don't. I mean, technically speaking, we're only $1.53 out of the money. We're talking about a $243 stock. So, we were actually in the money today at one point. We were yesterday as well. So again, I'm not ready to throw in the towel on SOXX yet. Coherent Corporation, I'm excited about this one, even though it is starting to fall back a little bit. I'm hoping, if I go ahead and just stretch this out just a little bit, I'm hoping that this previous trend line that I drew, along now with that 20-day moving average, I'm hoping it's not acting as resistance. But we did come cross over it today earlier. It has come back down below it, but we are still up almost 1% for the day. All I'm hoping is that this continues to push higher and that this pullback was just that. It was just a slight, not a slight pullback. It was a good, deep, relatively deep pullback. But I'm hoping that's it, and then we continue to move up. Royal Caribbean, this one's still painful because it's one of those, we're damned if we do and we're damned if we don't, because they decided to move up their earnings call to Thursday as opposed to next week. So it caused our shorts to skyrocket. So we sold these at $1.95. Now they're at $6, and it's absolutely crushing us. Obviously, the 165 or 167.50 calls are looking great, but those 170s are crippling us. So we're kind of in that position right now where if it goes up anymore, it's not going to hurt. And if it comes down quite a bit, it's also not going to hurt. So we're just going to have to leave it and see what happens on Thursday when they do their earnings. And best case scenario, the stock somehow finishes right around 170. Truth be told, I'd be happy if it finished below between 170 and 172. Or I'd even say, well, I don't know. Yeah, I'd say between 170 and 172. In fact, if it finished at 173, that would be great as well, because this is still going to lose half of its current value, and this will probably remain right at about where it's at. So that would even be pretty decent. But who knows what's going to happen with RCL? If we look at the chart, though, again, last couple earnings have not done much. This one didn't do much. I got to sneeze. Excuse me. This earnings throughout the day, a lot of movement, but in the end, didn't do much. So we can just kind of hope that this follows suit and this earnings call. Maybe there's going to be some volatility and some movement, but in the end, hoping it doesn't do much. And we still do have until Friday. Okay, so even though the earnings will be Thursday, although let's see, is it after or before? I can't remember. It is before. So we'll have 2 trading days essentially to get back around to that 170 level. So as long as it doesn't absolutely shoot way up high or way down low, we could still be plenty all right with RCL, with Royal Caribbean. And then finally, ALB. ALB is still looking good for us. It continues to want to move down. And I'm telling you, I think this is going to definitely make I'm not going to say it's going to have a drop like we had over here a few weeks ago. I don't think it's going to be that dramatic, but I could definitely see this going down below 90 towards that 85 mark. So we'll see what happens after this week, because of course ALB does expire this week. Close these up, open up ALB, 3 days till expiration. But even if that happened before this Friday, we will profit nicely. Okay, but we'll see what happens, because if we are flirting with that $90 price point on Friday, we might just go ahead and close our short legs and roll a few of our long legs. In fact, we might close our verticals and roll our longs, okay? Our long calls. So that means we'd close 6 of these, because we have 6 total verticals, and roll our long calls, which would be the remaining 6 of these 12, and see what happens with that. Because again, I'm sorry, I was saying long calls. I meant long puts. I would hope you all understood that. But I really do think this chart is just not looking good for ALB. But again, we'll just got to play it by ear. We'll see what happens. I don't often do long calls or long puts, but this chart is looking phenomenal for that. Okay, it's just having so much difficulty getting, especially when we were at over $99 a share last week, and it just came all the way back down to 92 like that. So I'm liking this one a lot to the short side. And with this current pullback that's going on right now, I like it even more. That being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the market, at least the SPY right now. What in the heck? Who did that? All right, so get rid of this, get rid of that, change this to the Bollinger Bands, MACD and CCI. There we go. It's how I like it. I like it a lot. All right, so the SPY, the S&P ETF, we're having another positive day. Okay, it's not a huge day. Don't get super excited. It's just a small bounce. Okay, which, truth be told, I would argue that we have some resistance right here, and if it's taking 3 days just to try and get back to that resistance level, then this is actually more bearish than bullish, even though it's green today. So we're definitely going to have to see what happens the rest of this week. It's going to have some phenomenal financial reports along with earnings, in my opinion, to break through this resistance. But if we do break through, we can absolutely expect to see all-time highs, because people are going to start jumping on board like crazy. Again, that's solely my opinion, but I think that's what would happen. Now, if it does get rejected around this level, then people, I think, will start jumping ship like, oh, shoot, we couldn't even get back over, this gap down right here, and we can't battle, we can't go up towards those all-time highs. I think we're in trouble. The market's starting to turn, and people might start jumping ship, and we might start seeing a bigger dip. So definitely have to be careful here. We don't know what's going to happen, obviously, but this could be a pivotal point in the next few days. That's all I'm going to say. And believe me, believe me when I say this, it is so hard for me to not make more trades right now. But this is not the time to make trades. It's simply not. We are in an indecisive market. We're in the middle of the earnings season where all these big companies are going to be reporting earnings. We don't know what's going to happen. This is not the market you want to be gambling in. That's what it is. It's gambling, because this market is being super indecisive. So if you want to be on that, well, I think the market's going to go up because, or I think the market's going to be going down because, by all means, go ahead and do that. You didn't get that from me. I'm telling you, I'm going to wait until the market decides what it wants to do and shows what it wants to do. And that's probably going to be sometime next week, truth be told, because that's when we're going to be getting through most of the biggest earnings. And we'll get a lot of those the financial reports coming out. So, including the PCE this Friday. But of course, if anything were to happen, if anything were to come out, I will obviously let everyone know. As long as you are a Platinum member, you'll get a text message for any trade that we do here at Trading Options Network. You will get it in real time. So if you wanted to make that same trade, you can. But again, right now, we're in an indecisive market. Are there stocks that are looking great and looking poor? Absolutely. If we go to the screener, I guarantee I could find something that will look good. But again, I'm not trying to open up any positions right now while the market's being indecisive, simply due to the fact that it can change within days. Okay? And we can possibly be profitable right away. But if we do plan on holding the position a little bit longer, we could find ourselves buying in a bear or a bull trap right now. So let's go ahead, though. I'm going to see, just to prove it to you that we could find something that looks good. Price above, with an ATR, I'd say over $2. All right. So performance. Let's do the quarter performance. We'll do it one more time. All right. So I'm looking at my bulls. So here are some companies that have had a little bit of a pullback on the left, obviously, because they've been doing great. I'm not even sure what this is. It's a biotech company that explains a lot. Carvana, I believe this one is, yep. So Carvana's been doing great for the quarter, up 82%, 15% this month, but they're in a 10% pullback. So I look at this. This is a good chart. And if it gives us one more green bar, then yeah, we can absolutely be bullish on this. Okay, this is exactly my point. Reddit, same thing. It's been great. It's been going up. It had its IPO not that long ago, obviously, but it's been going up, little dip, up, little dip, up, little dip, up. Where is this next up going to take us? I don't know. Apple, go figure. Now, Apple's one of those right now that I feel you'd be chasing, but the chart says there's no reason not to be bullish on this. I mean, we've been going up, 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 up. Little pullback here. Up, 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 up. Little pullback here. Is this the next up, 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 up and away? Who knows? It looks great. It really does. But this is not, I can't express this enough. This is not the time to start opening up more positions. So, I don't know. It's boring. I get it. I really want to do more trades. I'm sure everybody wants to. But again, we have to make sure we're remaining smart and not jumping into anything we don't need to be jumping into. So that being said, again, keep your eye out. If you are a Platinum member, keep your eye out for any of those additional text messages that are going to be coming out for any trades, whether we open or close anything. But overall, I think we're going to have a pretty slow week this week. But of course, I will be here in a couple of hours to do our afternoon training. So until then, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Take care.